The girl's legs buckled. Her arms shook so violently the baby nearly slipped from her grip. 7 years old, barefoot on scorching asphalt. 3 days without food. 3 days carrying her dying brother through Louisiana Bayou. She saw the black Dodge Charger slowing down and screamed with every ounce of strength left in her broken body. "Please, don't leave me behind." Her voice shattered the humid air. "Everybody leaves. Please, mister, he's dying. My brother's dying. I can't hold him no more." The engine died. The Hells Angel sat frozen, staring at the impossible sight before him. Then he got out of the car. Before we continue, please subscribe to follow this incredible story to the end. Comment below which city you're watching from. I want to see how far this story travels. Granite Cole's foot hovered over the gas pedal. Every instinct screamed at him. Keep driving. Don't stop. Someone else will help. Someone who hasn't spent 30 years doing things that would make this child run screaming if she knew. But the girl's voice cut through him like a blade. "Please, I can see you in there. I know you can hear me." She took a step toward his car, then another. The baby in her arms let out a sound, not a cry, just a weak animal whimper that barely qualified as alive. "He's only 4 months old. His name is Isaiah. Please, mister, he's all I got left in this world." Granite's hand tightened on the steering wheel. He thought about the last child he'd seen this desperate. 12 years ago. A different girl. A house with a tricycle on the porch and little shoes by the door. They'd handed him a gas can and told him to burn it all down. He'd said no. They'd nearly killed him for it. "I'll do anything." The girl was screaming now, her voice cracking. "I'll give you whatever you want. Just help my brother. Please." Granite cut the engine. The door opened. His boots hit the pavement, and everything changed. The girl scrambled backward the moment she saw him clearly. The tattoos crawling up his neck. The scars crossing his knuckles. The size of him, 6'4", 240 pounds of muscle and bad decisions. "Stay back." Her voice shifted from desperate to dangerous. "I got a knife, I'll cut you. I swear to God, I'll cut you." Granite stopped, held up his hands, showed her his palms. "I believe you would." "I will. I already cut a man 2 days ago. He tried to take Isaiah, and I cut his face open." Granite's jaw tightened. Someone had already tried to grab these kids. "What's your name?" "Why you want to know my name?" "Because I can't help you if I don't know what to call you." The girl's eyes, dark brown, ancient with exhaustion, studied him, looking for the trap, the lie, the trick. "Maya," she finally said. "Maya Johnson. And this is Isaiah. He's my brother." "Maya. I'm Granite. That's my real name." "That's a stupid name. My mama gave it to me. She said I was hard-headed from the day I was born." Something flickered in Maya's eyes. Not trust, not yet, but the edge of her fear dulled just slightly. "Your mama still alive?" "No, she passed when I was 19. "Mine passed 3 days ago." The words came out flat, dead, like she'd said them so many times in her own head that they'd lost all meaning. "She won't wake up. I tried everything. I shook her and yelled at her, and even hit her, and I'm sorry I hit her, but she wouldn't wake up, and now she's cold, and I didn't know what to do, so I just started walking." Granite felt his chest crack open. "You've been walking for 3 days." "Yes, sir." "Carrying your brother the whole time?" "He can't walk. He's a baby." She said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world, like there was no other option. Like a 7-year-old carrying an infant for 72 hours through bayou country was just what you did when there was nobody else. "Maya, I need you to listen to me very carefully." Granite took 1 step forward. Maya flinched but didn't run. "Your brother is very sick. I can see it from here. He needs a doctor right now. Not in an hour, not tomorrow, right now." "I know that." "Why you think I've been walking?" "I have a car. I can get him to a hospital in 40 minutes. but I need you to trust me." Maya laughed. It was the most heartbreaking sound Granite had ever heard a child's laugh, with no joy in it at all. "Trust you, Mr. The last man who said trust me tried to throw me in his truck. Said nobody would miss two black kids like us. Said there are people who pay good money for babies." Granite's blood turned to ice. "What happened to him?" "I told you. I cut his face open. Then I bit him so hard I tasted blood. Then I ran." She lifted her chin. "You try to take my brother. I'll do worse to you. I don't care how big you are. I'm not going to take your brother. Everybody says that. I'm not everybody. How do I know?" Granite looked at her. This girl, 7 years old, barefoot and starving and holding a dying baby and still ready to fight, still ready to protect, still standing when anyone else would have collapsed. "You don't know," he said quietly. "You can't know. You just have to decide. And I know that's the hardest thing in the world because everyone you've trusted has let you down. But your brother is dying, Maya. I can see his color from here. If we don't move right now, he won't make it to nightfall." Maya's face crumpled, just for a second. The mask slipped, and underneath was just a terrified child who'd been carrying the weight of the world. "How do I know you won't hurt us?" "Because 12 years ago, some men told me to burn down a house with a family inside. A black family, 2 parents, 2 kids younger than you. And I said no." Maya's eyes widened. "They beat me so bad I spent 2 months in the hospital. I lost everything, my friends, my money, my whole life. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't hurt those kids." He crouched down slowly, making himself smaller, less threatening. "I'm not a good man, Maya. I've done things that would give you nightmares. But I have never ever hurt a child. And I never will." The silence stretched between them. Cicadas screamed in the trees. The heat pressed down like a weight. Isaiah made another weak sound, weaker than before. Maya looked at her brother, then at Granite, then at her brother again. "If you're lying," she whispered, "I'll kill you. I don't know how, but I'll find a way. I'm not lying. Promise? I promise. Swear on your mama." Granite felt something crack in his chest. "I swear on my mama." Maya took a shaky breath. Then she walked toward him, each step a leap of faith, until she stood close enough for him to see the tear tracks through the dirt on her face. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay." Granite moved carefully, no sudden movements. He reached out and touched Isaiah's forehead, burning hot, way too hot, then looked at Maya. "Can you walk to my car?" "I can do anything." "I know you can. Let's go." They made it 3 steps before Maya's legs gave out. Granite caught her before she hit the ground, scooped both children into his arms like they weighed nothing. Maya screamed and thrashed on instinct, but Granite held firm. "It's okay. It's okay, Maya. I've got you. Let me go. You fell. I caught you. That's all." Maya stopped fighting. Her wild eyes met his. "You caught me." "Yeah. Nobody ever catches me." "I did." She stared at him for a long moment. Then she buried her face in his chest and started to cry. Not loud sobs. Just quiet, broken sounds that were worse somehow. The tears of a child who'd forgotten how to cry properly because crying took energy she didn't have. "I've got you," Granite said. "I've got both of you. You can stop fighting now." "I don't know how to stop." "I know. But you're not alone anymore." He carried them to the car, placed Maya in the back seat, handed her Isaiah. "Hold him against your chest. Keep him as cool as you can. Talk to him the whole way. What do I say? Anything, everything. Tell him you love him." Maya clutched Isaiah tight. "I do love him, more than anything." "Then tell him. Let him hear your voice." Granite slid into the driver's seat, turned the key, and the engine coughed, sputtered, died. "No, no, no, no." He turned the key again. The engine groaned like a wounded animal. What's wrong? Maya's voice shot up with panic. Why aren't we moving? Engine's overheated. Give me a second. We don't have a second. You said he needs help right now. I know what I said. Granite slammed his palm against the steering wheel. The Charger had never failed him. 18 years of hard roads, and it had never once let him down. And now, when it mattered most, he closed his eyes, breathed, tried again. The engine roared to life. Thank you, he muttered to no one. Or maybe to someone. He wasn't sure anymore. The Charger tore onto the highway. Granite pushed it to 90, then 100, eating up the miles between them and salvation. Talk to me, Maya. Tell me about Isaiah. What about him? Anything. Keep talking. It'll help both of you. Maya was quiet for a moment. When she spoke, her voice was steadier. He laughs at everything, even when nothing's funny. Mama said he got that from his daddy. His daddy was nice. He died before Isaiah was born. Car accident. How'd you know? Just a guess. Yeah, car accident. He was gonna marry Mama. He was gonna take us away somewhere safe. But then he died, and there wasn't nobody to take us nowhere. Granite's hands tightened on the wheel. What about your daddy? Don't got one. Mama said he left before I was born. Said he took one look at me and decided he didn't want no daughter. The matter-of-fact way she said it, like it was just another fact of life, like the sky being blue or water being wet, made Granite want to find that man and break every bone in his body. His loss. That's what Mama said too. Your mama sounds like she was smart. She was. She got sick, needed medicine, but the medicine cost too much, so she got different medicine from bad people, and the bad medicine made her sleep too much, and then... Maya's voice trailed off. Then she didn't wake up. Yeah. The highway stretched ahead. Granite checked the rear-view mirror. Maya was stroking Isaiah's face, singing softly, Itsy Bitsy Spider, barely above a whisper. He likes that song. It's his favorite. He kicks his legs when I sing it. Is he kicking now? Maya was quiet for a moment. No, he hasn't kicked since yesterday. Granite pressed harder on the gas. The fuel gauge caught his eye. Quarter tank. Maybe enough to make it. Maybe not. A sign flashed by gas. 2 miles. He had to make a choice. Stop and risk losing precious minutes, or keep going and risk running out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. Why are we slowing down? Maya had noticed the speedometer dropping. Need gas. No, don't stop, please. If we run out of fuel, we'll be stuck on the side of the road. That'll be worse. But, 2 minutes, Maya. I swear, 2 minutes and we're back on the road. He pulled into the gas station, a rundown place with 2 pumps and a flickering sign. Stay in the car, keep the doors locked. Don't open them for anyone except me. Maya nodded, her face pale. Hurry. Granite jumped out, jammed the nozzle into the tank, willed the gas to flow faster. His eyes kept darting to the car, watching Maya's silhouette in the back seat. A truck pulled in on the other side of the pump. Big vehicle, mud splattered. 2 men inside watching Granite with too much interest. The driver got out, heavy set, greasy hair, a bandage wrapped around his right hand. Granite's instincts screamed. The man started walking toward the Charger. Hey, that's my car you're walking toward. The man stopped, turned. His eyes were cold. Just looking. Nice car. Look from over there. Free country. My car, my rules. The man smiled. It didn't reach his eyes. Relax, friend. Just admiring the vehicle. His partner got out of the truck now. Smaller, wiry, moving to flank. Granite pulled the nozzle out, not waiting for the tank to fill completely. He stepped between the men and his car. We got a problem here. No problem. The heavy-set man held up his hands, and Granite saw the bandage clearly now. Teeth marks, fresh wounds. Just passing through. Maya's voice came from the car, muffled but clear. That's him. That's the man from before. He's got the bite on his hand. The man's face changed. The fake friendliness disappeared. You got my property in that car, friend. There's no property in my car, just 2 children. Children nobody's looking for. Children worth money to the right people. Granite felt the old rage rising. The rage he'd spent 12 years trying to bury. Walk away. Or what? Or I'll show you why they used to call me stone cold. The smaller man reached for something in his waistband. Granite moved. He'd been in 100 fights. 1,000. He knew how to end them quick. 3 seconds. That's all it took. The smaller man was on the ground, gasping, his arm bent wrong. The heavy-set man stumbled backward, blood pouring from his nose. Next time you try to take a child, Granite said quietly, remember this moment. Remember how easy it was for me to break you, and know that I held back. He got in the car, hit the gas, left them bleeding in the parking lot. Maya was shaking in the back seat. You hurt them. Yes. Bad. Not as bad as they deserved. Maya was quiet for a moment. Good. They drove in silence for 5 minutes. Then, Granite. Yeah. Thank you. For what? For being scary. For being scary for us instead of at us. Granite didn't trust himself to speak. He just nodded. The town appeared on the horizon. Buildings, lights, people. Almost there, baby girl. You got him this far. Is he still breathing? Granite checked the rearview mirror. Isaiah's tiny chest rose and fell. Barely. Yeah, he's still fighting. He's strong, stronger than he looks. Like his sister. Maya almost smiled. The sign said, Jolene's Diner, open 24 hours. Not a hospital, but there would be people. Help. Granite pulled in, killed the engine, and turned to Maya. Can you walk? I think so. She tried to move. Her legs wouldn't cooperate. 3 days of walking had finally caught up with her. I can't, my legs won't. I've got you. Granite carried them both inside. The bell above the door jangled. Every head turned. A massive white man covered in tattoos. A dirty black girl in his arms. A barely breathing black baby. The diner went silent. A woman behind the counter, gray hair, hard eyes, hand moving towards something beneath the register, stared at them. I'm not here for trouble. Granite's voice carried clear across the room. This baby needs help, right now. Someone call 911. Nobody moved. Please, he's dying. Maya's voice broke the spell. A younger woman burst through the kitchen door, dark skin, kind face, moving like someone who'd seen emergencies before. Let me see him. I was Army medic 12 years. Let me see. She took Isaiah, unwrapped the dirty blanket, checked his vitals. Her face went tight. Severe dehydration, fever's off the charts. Mama May, call Doc Patterson. Tell him pediatric emergency. She looked at Granite. If you'd found them an hour later, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Maya grabbed Granite's hand. Is he going to die? The medic, Jolene, her name tag said, looked at the girl. Not if I can help it, sweetheart. What's his name? Isaiah. He's 4 months old. He likes when I sing to him. Then keep singing. He needs to hear your voice. Maya started singing. Itsy Bitsy Spider. Her voice cracked and wavered, but she didn't stop. Jolene worked fast. IV line, fluids, temperature check. 103.8. He's burning up. Do something. I am baby. I am. The door opened. Heavy footsteps. Granite turned. A sheriff stood in the doorway. Tall, black, badge glinting, hand on his holster. His eyes swept the room, the white biker, the black children, the chaos, and his expression hardened into something cold. Somebody want to tell me what the hell is going on here? Maya pressed closer to Granite. Don't let him take us, she whispered. Please, don't let anybody take us. Granite squeezed her hand. Nobody's taking you anywhere. The sheriff took a step forward. Sir, I'm going to need you to step away from those children. No, that wasn't a request. I know what it was. The answer's still no. The sheriff's hand tightened on his holster. I don't know who you are or what you're doing with these kids, but you've got about 5 seconds to start explaining before I put you on the ground. Granite met his eyes. My name is Granite Cole. I found these children on Highway 90 3 miles east of here. The girl was carrying her baby brother. She'd been walking for 3 days. Their mother is dead. Someone already tried to kidnap them once about 20 miles back. I stopped them. Stopped them how? How do you think? The sheriff's eyes flicked to Granite's scarred knuckles. You got ID? In my back pocket. Get it, slowly. Granite reached back, pulled out his wallet, handed over his license. The sheriff studied it. His eyes narrowed. Granite Cole. Why do I know that name? Probably because I used to ride with the Hells Angels. Louisiana chapter. 1990 to 2012. The diner went even quieter somehow. You're a biker. Was, not anymore. Once a biker, always a biker. That's what they said too, right before they tried to kill me for walking away. The sheriff studied him for a long moment. Why'd you walk away? Granite looked at Maya, at Isaiah, at the terrified, desperate children he'd pulled from the jaws of death. Because they asked me to do something I couldn't do, something involving kids. What kind of something? The kind that would have put children in the ground. The sheriff's expression shifted, just slightly. The hostility was still there, but something else crept in alongside it. And these two, how do I know you didn't? He saved us. Maya's voice cut through the tension. He stopped when nobody else stopped. He fought the bad men who tried to take Isaiah. He promised he wouldn't hurt us, and he didn't. She stepped forward, putting herself between Granite and the sheriff. He's not a bad man. I don't care what his skin looks like or what pictures he's got on his neck. He's the only person who helped us. The only one. The sheriff looked at her, at the dirt on her face, the blood on her feet, the fierce, desperate courage in her eyes. What's your name, sweetheart? Maya Johnson. That's my brother Isaiah. Our mama's dead, and this man saved our lives. So if you're gonna arrest somebody, arrest me. But leave him alone. Granite felt his heart shatter. This girl, this 7-year-old girl, ready to go to jail to protect him. Nobody's arresting anybody, the sheriff said quietly. Not yet, anyway. He holstered his weapon. But I'm going to need some answers. A lot of answers. And I'm going to need them now. Jolene looked up from Isaiah. Sheriff, whatever questions you've got can wait. This baby needs a hospital. He needs it 5 minutes ago. How bad? Bad enough that if we don't move now, there won't be any questions to answer. There'll just be a funeral. Maya made a sound, a small broken sound that cut through everything. No, 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 no. He can't die. I didn't carry him all this way for him to die. I can't. Her legs buckled. Granite caught her. He's not going to die, he said. You hear me, Maya? He's not going to die. You saved him. You got him here. Now let them do their job. Promise? I promise. You promised before about not hurting us. Did I keep that promise? Maya looked at him with those ancient, exhausted eyes. Yeah, you did. Then trust me one more time. Isaiah's going to make it. Because you didn't give up. Because you're the strongest person I've ever met. Because you carried him through hell, and you're still standing. Maya buried her face in his chest. I'm tired, she whispered. I'm so tired. I know, baby girl. I know. Granite looked at the sheriff. St. Augustine Parish Hospital, 40 minutes. I can have them there in 30 if you give me an escort. The sheriff held his gaze for a long moment. You better drive as fast as you say you can, because if that baby dies, there's going to be a lot of questions, and I'm going to want answers you might not want to give. The only thing I want is for these children to live. Ask me anything. I've got nothing to hide. The sheriff nodded slowly. Jolene, can the baby travel? If we go now, if we go right now. Then let's move. Maya grabbed Granite's hand. You're coming with us, right? You're not going to leave. I'm not going anywhere. You promise. On my mama's grave. Maya held his hand tighter. Okay, she whispered. Okay. They moved toward the door, Jolene carrying Isaiah, Granite carrying Maya the sheriff, leading the way. And as they stepped into the night, Maya looked up at the stars and whispered something so quiet, Granite almost didn't hear it. Please, God, please let him live. I'll do anything. I'll be good forever. Just please let my brother live. Granite held her closer. He's going to live, Maya. I promise you. How do you know? Because I'm not letting either of you go. Not tonight. Not ever. Maya's hand tightened around his fingers. And somewhere deep inside, Granite Cole, in a place he'd thought was dead and buried 12 years ago, something started to beat again. Something that felt terrifyingly like hope. The sheriff's cruiser screamed through the nightlights, flashing, siren wailing. Granite's Charger followed close behind, pushing 110 on the straightaways. Maya sat in the back seat, Isaiah cradled against her chest. Jolene had insisted on riding with them, monitoring the baby's vitals with a portable kit she'd grabbed from the diner. His breathing's getting weaker. Jolene's voice was tight. How much weaker? Weak enough that we need to go faster. Granite floored it. Maya, keep talking to him. Don't stop. I don't know what else to say. Tell him about your mama. Tell him the good stuff. Maya swallowed hard. Mama used to make pancakes on Sunday. She wasn't good at it. They always came out burned on one side, but she tried. She'd put on music and dance around the kitchen and make us laugh. Her voice cracked. She loved us. She really did. She got lost. The medicine made her lost. That's good, Maya. Keep going. She used to call Isaiah her miracle baby. Said he was the only good thing that came out of all the bad. Said he was proof that God hadn't forgotten about us. Jolene checked Isaiah's pulse. His heart rate's dropping. How far to the hospital? 15 minutes. He doesn't have 15 minutes. Granite grabbed his phone, dialed the sheriff's cruiser ahead of them. We need to go faster. The baby's crashing. I'm already doing 90. Do 110. I'll keep up. He's dying, right now, in my back seat. A 4-month-old baby is dying because we're not going fast enough. So unless you want to explain to a 7-year-old girl why her brother stopped breathing, you push that pedal through the floor. Silence on the line. Then the cruiser ahead surged forward. Granite. Maya's voice was small. Yeah, baby girl. He stopped moving. Granite's blood turned to ice. Jolene. The medic was already working, tilting Isaiah's head back, checking his airway. He's still breathing. Barely, but he's still breathing. Maya, I need you to do something for me. What? I need you to pray. I don't know how. Yes, you do. Just talk to God like you're talking to me. Tell him what you need. Maya closed her eyes. God, it's Maya. I know I haven't talked to you in a while. Mama said you were always listening, but I didn't believe her, because if you were listening, why did you let all the bad stuff happen? Her voice shook. But I'm talking now. And I'm asking no, I'm begging. Please don't take my brother. He's all I got. He's the only person left who's mine. Please. I'll do anything. I'll be good forever. I'll never complain about nothing ever again. Just please let him live. The hospital appeared ahead, lights blazing. Emergency entrance. We're here. Maya, we're here. The next few minutes were chaos. Doctors swarmed the car the moment it stopped. They took Isaiah from Maya's arms. She screamed and fought until Granite held her back and rushed him through the double doors. Let me go. I have to stay with him. They're helping him, Maya. Let them help. But I promised Mama I'd never leave him. You're not leaving him. You're letting the doctors save him. That's different. Maya collapsed against Granite's chest, sobbing. What if he dies? What if he dies and I wasn't there? He's not going to die. You don't know that. You're right, I don't. But I know you didn't carry him through hell for 3 days just to lose him now. And I know those doctors in there are going to fight for him just as hard as you did. Maya looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. Promise? I promise. You keep promising things. And I keep keeping them. The sheriff approached. They're taking him to the pediatric ICU. It's going to be a while before we know anything. Can I see him? Maya's voice was desperate. Not yet, sweetheart. They need to stabilize him first. How long? I don't know. Maya turned to Granite. I want to see him. I know. Make them let me see him. I can't do that, baby girl. But I can stay right here with you until they do. The sheriff cleared his throat. Mr. Cole, I need to ask you some questions. Not now. It wasn't a request. I said not now. Granite's voice dropped to something dangerous. This girl just spent 3 days walking through the bayou carrying her dying brother. She watched her mother die. She fought off a kidnapper. And now she's sitting in a hospital waiting to find out if the only family she has left is going to survive the night. So whatever questions you have can wait until she's not falling apart. The sheriff's jaw tightened. I've got a job to do. And I've got a child to protect. Figure out which one matters more. They stared at each other. Neither blinked. Sheriff Washington. Jolene stepped between them. Maybe we can do this somewhere else. Let the girl rest. She's a witness. I need her statement. She's 7. And she's traumatized. And she's not going anywhere. Give her an hour. Please. The sheriff looked at Maya, small and broken, and clinging to Granite, like he was the only solid thing in the world. 1 hour. 1. Then I need answers from both of you. He walked away. Granite let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Jolene's voice was quiet. He's going to run your name. He's going to find out everything. I know. Does the girl know about who you were? Some of it. And you're still going to stay. Granite looked at Maya. She'd fallen asleep against his side, exhaustion finally winning over fear. I promised her I wouldn't leave. Promises are easy to make, hard to keep. I know. That's why I don't make them unless I mean them. Jolene studied him for a long moment. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone harder, meaner, more like the tattoo suggested. I was that person once, not anymore. What changed? Granite thought about the question. I looked at a house full of children and realized I'd rather die than hurt them. After that, everything else seemed simple. The hour passed slowly. Maya slept fitfully, whimpering and twitching, trapped in nightmares. Granite couldn't fight. He held her hand the whole time, letting her know she wasn't alone even in sleep. A doctor emerged from the ICU. Young, tired, wearing scrubs stained with things Granite didn't want to identify. Are you the family? I'm all she's got right now. The doctor hesitated. The baby Isaiah he's stabilized. For now. Maya jerked awake. He's alive. He's okay. He's very sick, sweetheart. Severe dehydration, malnutrition, a respiratory infection that's turned into pneumonia. But he's fighting. Can I see him? Please. In a little while. We need to run some more tests first. But, Maya. Granite's voice was gentle. Let them do their job. Remember what I said. One thing at a time. Maya's lip trembled. I just want to see him. I want him to know I'm here. The doctor crouched down to her level. He knows, sweetheart. He's been crying for someone. We think he's crying for you. Maya's face crumpled. He's crying. That's actually a good sign. It means he's getting stronger. His body has enough energy to cry now. Can you tell him I'm coming? Can you tell him Maya's right outside and she's not going anywhere? I'll tell him myself. The doctor stood. You did an incredible thing carrying him all that way. Most adults couldn't have done what you did. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. You chose to save him. That makes you a hero. Maya shook her head. I'm not a hero. I was just scared. I didn't want to be alone. The doctor left. Sheriff Washington took his place. Mr. Cole, it's been an hour. Granite stood slowly, careful not to wake Maya, who had dozed off again. Ask your questions. Not here. Interview room down the hall. I'm not leaving her. Jolene can watch her. I said I'm not leaving her. The sheriff's eyes hardened. I've been patient. I've given you time. But I've got a dead woman somewhere in this state, 2 children with no guardian, and a man with a criminal record longer than my arm claiming to be their savior. So you're going to answer my questions, and you're going to answer them now. Maya's eyes opened. Don't take him away. Her voice was raw with fear. Please don't take him. He's the only one who helped us. Sweetheart, I just need to talk to him. That's what they always say. I just need to talk to her. I just need to ask a few questions. Then they take people away, and they don't come back. Maya grabbed Granite's hand. Don't go, please. Maya, you promised. You promised you wouldn't leave. Granite crouched down. I'm not leaving. I'm just going down the hall. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Jolene's going to stay with you. But, have I broken a promise yet? Maya shook her head slowly. Then trust me one more time. 20 minutes. I'll be right back. Maya's grip loosened, reluctantly. If you don't come back, I'll find you. I don't care where you go. I'll find you and I'll make you keep your promise. I believe you would. Granite stood. 20 minutes, Sheriff. Not a second more. The interview room was small, cold, designed to make people uncomfortable. Granite didn't care. He'd been in worse places. Tell me about your record. The sheriff had a file open in front of him. Pages and pages of Granite's sins printed in black and white. What do you want to know? All of it. That'll take more than 20 minutes. Give me the highlights. Granite leaned back. I joined the Hells Angels when I was 18. Young, stupid, looking for family. They gave me one. For 22 years, they were everything to me. And then they asked me to burn down a house with a family inside, a black family, 2 parents, 2 kids under 5. The sheriff's expression didn't change. What happened? I said no. They beat me until they thought I was dead. Left me in a ditch. I spent 2 months in ICU, another 6 learning how to walk again. And after, I disappeared. Changed my name legally. Just drove. For 12 years. Until today. Until today. The sheriff closed the file. Why'd you stop? I heard her crying. That's it. That's it. You expect me to believe that a former Hells Angel with a history of violence just happened to find 2 black children on the side of the road and decided to help them out of the goodness of his heart? I don't expect you to believe anything, but it's the truth. The truth is that men like you don't change. Maybe I'm not like most men. The sheriff leaned forward. I've been doing this job for 25 years. I've seen a lot of people claim to change. Addicts, abusers, criminals. They all say the same thing. I'm different now. I've turned my life around. And 9 times out of 10, they're lying. I'm not lying. How do I know that? Because I could have kept driving. I could have pretended I didn't see them. Nobody would have known. Nobody would have blamed me. Granite's voice hardened. But I stopped. I fought 2 men who tried to take them. I drove 100 miles an hour to get them here. And I'm sitting in this room answering your questions when I could have been gone hours ago. He stood. You want to know if I'm a good man? I'm not. I've done things that keep me up at night. Things I can never take back. But I didn't hurt those children. I saved them. And if you can't see the difference, that's your problem, not mine. The door opened. A woman walked in. White. Mid-50s. Gray suit. Hair pulled back tight. Clipboard pressed against her chest like armor. Sheriff Washington, I'm Patricia Thornton, Child Protective Services. Granite felt his stomach drop. CPS is already here. Hospital called it in. Standard procedure when unaccompanied minors are admitted. They're not unaccompanied. I'm with them. And you are? The man who saved their lives. According to whom? According to the 7-year-old girl who was carrying her dying brother for 3 days before I found them. Thornton's expression didn't flicker. I'll need to interview her and assess the situation. She's exhausted. She's traumatized. She just found out her brother might survive. You're not interviewing her tonight. Mr. Cole. Granite Cole. Thornton wrote something on her clipboard. Mr. Cole, I understand you've been through a difficult evening, but these children are now wards of the state. I have a responsibility to ensure their safety. Their safety, I just saved them. From a roadside, yes, but I don't know you. I don't know your history. I don't know your intentions. My intention is to make sure they don't get separated and thrown into a system that doesn't give a damn about them. Thornton's eyes narrowed. You seem very invested for a stranger. I seem very invested because that little girl asked me not to leave, and I promised I wouldn't. Promises made to children don't override child welfare protocols. They should. The sheriff stood. Ms. Thornton, maybe we can continue this in the morning. It's 3 a.m. The girl's sleeping. The baby's in ICU. Nobody's going anywhere tonight. The children need to be placed. They need to rest. We all do. Tomorrow's soon enough to figure out the next steps. Thornton looked like she wanted to argue, but something in the sheriff's face stopped her. Fine. First thing tomorrow. But Mr. Cole, I'll need you to stay available. I'm not going anywhere. See that you don't. She left. The sheriff let out a long breath. You've got a talent for making enemies. She's not my enemy. She's just doing her job. Her job is to place those kids somewhere safe. Somewhere safe doesn't mean somewhere separate. Maya told me about the system, about how they split up siblings, put them in different homes. Granite's voice dropped. I'm not letting that happen to them. You might not have a choice. There's always a choice. You said so yourself. The sheriff studied him for a long moment. You really care about these kids. I really do. Why? You just met them. Granite thought about the question. Because Maya asked me not to leave, and nobody ever asked me that before. My whole life people were happy to see me go. But she looked at me with those eyes and begged me to stay. His voice cracked. I couldn't walk away from that. I couldn't be another person who abandoned her. The sheriff nodded slowly. Get some sleep, Mr. Cole. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Granite walked back to the waiting room. Maya was awake, sitting up, eyes fixed on the door. The moment she saw him, her whole body sagged with relief. You came back. I told you I would. I know, but I was still scared. Granite sat down beside her. I'm not going anywhere, baby girl. Not tonight, not tomorrow, not until you tell me to go. Maya leaned against his side. I'm never going to tell you to go. Then I guess you're stuck with me. Good. They sat in silence for a while. Granite. Yeah. The lady in the suit. What did she want? She wants to make sure you're safe. I am safe. I'm with you. I know. But she doesn't know that yet. She's going to need to ask some questions tomorrow. About your mama. About what happened. Maya tensed. I don't want to talk about it. I know. She's going to want to take us somewhere. Put us in a house with strangers. Maybe. I don't want to go with strangers. I know that too. Maya looked up at him. Can we stay with you? The question hit Granite like a punch to the chest. Maya. I know you're not family. I know we just met. But you feel like family. You feel more like family than anyone ever did except Mama. Her eyes filled with tears. I don't want to go somewhere else. I don't want to learn new names and new rules and pretend to be okay when I'm not. I just want to stay with you. Granite felt his heart breaking. It's not that simple, baby girl. There are rules, laws, people who decide where kids go. Then make them change the rules. I can't. You said you'd do anything to help us. You said you'd fight for us, so fight. Her voice was fierce now. Fight for me like I fought for Isaiah. Don't let them take us away. Don't let them split us up, please. Granite pulled her into his arms. I'll fight, he whispered. I promise. I'll fight as hard as I can. And you won't leave. I won't leave. Even if it gets hard. Even if it gets hard. Maya buried her face in his chest. Thank you. For what? For stopping, for staying, for being the person I needed when I needed someone. Granite held her tighter. Thank you for asking me to stay. You saved me too, Maya. You just don't know it yet. The door to the ICU opened. The doctor emerged, looking exhausted but hopeful. Maya, would you like to see your brother? Maya's head snapped up. Really? Right now? He's stable enough for a short visit. He's been asking for you. He can't talk. No, but he keeps looking at the door. We think he knows you're out here. Maya grabbed Granite's hand. Come with me. You want me there? I want you everywhere. Always. Granite stood. Then let's go see your brother. They walked through the doors together, and somewhere in his broken heart, Granite Cole felt something he hadn't felt in 12 years. Hope. Isaiah looked so small. That was the first thing Maya thought when she saw him. Smaller than he'd ever looked before, surrounded by machines and wires and tubes, his tiny chest rising and falling with each labored breath. Oh, Isaiah. Maya's voice broke. I'm here. I'm right here. It's Maya. She reached through the plastic barrier of the incubator, touching his tiny hand with one finger. Isaiah's eyes fluttered open. He saw her face, and something changed in his expression. Recognition. Relief. He started to cry. Not the weak, dying whimper from before. A real cry, strong and loud and alive. He knows me. Maya was crying too now. He knows I'm here. Of course he knows. The doctor smiled. You're his sister. You're the one who saved him. I didn't save him. The doctor saved him. The doctor stabilized him. You kept him alive long enough for us to try. That's the hard part. Maya pressed her forehead against the plastic. I'm sorry I couldn't do more. I'm sorry I let you get so sick. I tried, Isaiah. I tried so hard. The baby's tiny fingers wrapped around hers through the opening in the incubator, holding on, not letting go. He forgives you. Granite's voice was rough. He doesn't blame you for anything. How do you know? Because he's holding your hand. That's what family does. Maya looked at him. Are you our family now? The question hung in the air. Granite didn't know how to answer. He'd never been anyone's family. Never had anyone want him to be. I'd like to be, he finally said. If you'll have me. Maya's face crumpled. I want that. I want that more than anything. The moment shattered when Patricia Thornton walked in. I'm sorry to interrupt. Her voice was clipped, professional, cold. But I need to speak with Maya, alone. No. Maya's grip on Isaiah's hand tightened. I'm not going anywhere without Granite. Sweetheart, I just need to ask you some questions about what happened, about your mother, about how you ended up on that highway. I know what you need. You need to decide where to put us. You need to figure out if we're worth keeping together, or if it's easier to split us up. Thornton's expression flickered. That's not... I'm 7, not stupid. I know how this works. Mama told me. She said if CPS ever got us, they'd separate us because it's easier to place a baby than a baby and a big sister. Maya, I'm not letting you take him. I don't care what papers you have or what rules you're following. Isaiah is my brother, mine, and I'm not losing him too. Thornton looked at Granite. Mr. Cole, perhaps you could give us a moment. She said she doesn't want to talk alone. I'm staying. This is a child welfare matter. This is a child who's been through hell. She gets to decide who stays and who goes, not you. Thornton's jaw tightened. You have no legal standing here. I have standing because she trusts me. Right now, that matters more than your paperwork. The sheriff appeared in the doorway. Everything okay in here? Sheriff Washington, please explain to Mr. Cole that he cannot interfere with a CPS investigation. She's not investigating anything. Maya's voice was fierce. She's trying to take us away. That's what they always do. The sheriff looked at Maya, then at Granite, then at Thornton. Patricia, maybe we can do this differently. The girl's been through trauma. She just watched her brother almost die. Maybe the interrogation can wait until morning. It's not an interrogation. It feels like one to her. That's what matters. Thornton took a breath, forced herself to soften. Maya, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to help. Then let me stay with Granite. I can't do that. He's not a licensed foster parent. He's not a relative. He's a stranger with a criminal record. He's not a stranger to me. Maya stepped closer to Granite. He stopped when nobody else stopped. He fought bad men to protect us. He held my hand when I was scared and promised he wouldn't leave. Her voice cracked. He's more family than anyone except Mama. And if you try to take me away from him, I'll run. I'll take Isaiah and I'll run and you'll never find us. The room went silent. Thornton stared at Maya like she was seeing her for the first time. You'd really do that? I walked through the bayou for 3 days carrying my brother. What do you think? The sheriff stepped forward. Patricia, give us a minute. He pulled Thornton into the hallway. Through the window, Granite could see them arguing, Thornton gesturing sharply. The sheriff's hands raised in a calming motion. Did I mess everything up? Maya's voice was small. No, baby girl. You told the truth. That's never wrong. But now she's mad. She's going to take us for sure. She's not taking you anywhere. Not tonight. Not without a fight. You promise? I promise. The sheriff returned. Alone. Here's what's going to happen. Maya stays here tonight with Isaiah. Mr. Cole, you can stay too. There's a family room down the hall. Tomorrow morning we're going to sit down and figure this out properly. And the CPS lady? She's agreed to wait until morning. But Maya, she's going to need to talk to you eventually. It's her job. I'll talk to her, but only if Granite's there. I think we can arrange that. The sheriff looked at Granite. Can I speak with you outside? Maya grabbed Granite's sleeve. You're coming back, right? Right back. 2 minutes. Promise? Promise. In the hallway, the sheriff kept his voice low. You've got a problem. Just one? A big one. Thornton's not going to let this go. She's already making calls, checking your background, talking to contacts in the system. By morning, she'll know everything about you. There's nothing to know that isn't already in your file. There's plenty. The club, for instance. You think she won't dig into that? Granite's stomach tightened. The club is 12 years in my past. Past has a way of not staying past, especially when children are involved. What are you saying? I'm saying that if you want any chance of staying in these kids' lives, you're going to need help. Real help. Legal help. I don't have money for lawyers. You might not need money. There's a man in town, Pastor Jerome Williams. He runs a church that does a lot of work with foster kids and families. He's got connections, resources, and he owes me a favor. Why would you help me? The sheriff was quiet for a moment. Because I watched that little girl defend you like you were the only good thing in her world. And I watched you fight for her like she was your own blood. He met Granite's eyes. I've been doing this job a long time. I know what real looks like. And whatever you were before, what you are right now, is real. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is going to get harder before it gets easier. The night passed slowly. Maya slept in a chair next to Isaiah's incubator, her hand still touching his through the opening. Granite sat in the corner watching, thinking, trying to figure out how to keep a promise he had no power to keep. His phone buzzed at 3 a.m. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. But something, instinct maybe, or fate, made him pick up. Hello. Well, Granite Cole. The voice was ice, familiar in all the worst ways. Granite's blood turned cold. Viper. You remembered. I'm touched. How did you get this number? We've got friends everywhere, Stone. You know that. It's why nobody really leaves the club. Granite stood slowly, moving away from Maya so she wouldn't hear. What do you want? Saw you on the news. Big hero story. Scary biker saves 2 little black kids from the side of the road. Real heartwarming stuff. Get to the point. The point is, you embarrassed us 12 years ago. You walked away. You said no. People talked. Said if Granite Cole could leave, maybe the club wasn't so tight after all. Viper's voice dropped. I've spent 12 years fixing what you broke, and now here you are, face all over the TV, reminding everyone that you're still breathing. That's your problem, not mine. See, that's where you're wrong. It became your problem the moment you showed your face on camera. Granite gripped the phone tighter. What do you want, Viper? A meeting. Tomorrow night. There's an old barn off Highway 90 about 10 miles east of town. Midnight. Come alone. And if I don't, then I pay a visit to that hospital. I hear the pediatric wing has very light security. Be a shame if something happened to those kids you're so attached to. Every muscle in Granite's body locked. You threaten those children again and I will kill you. I will find you wherever you are and I will make it last. There's the Granite I remember. That's the fire that made you useful. I'm not useful anymore. I'm done. You became done when you decided to. You can become undone the same way. What do you want? I told you, a meeting. Tomorrow night, midnight, come alone. And then what? And then we talk about your future. Maybe you come back, full patch, public return. We spin it as a prodigal son story. The club looks strong, forgiving, powerful. And if I say no, then we have a different kind of conversation, the kind that doesn't end well for anyone. The line went dead. Granite stood in the dark hallway, phone clutched in his hand, heart pounding. 12 years. 12 years of running, hiding, trying to become someone new. And it had found him anyway. He looked through the window at Maya sleeping peacefully beside her brother. He could run, grab the kids and disappear into the night. But Viper had reach. He had patience. He would find them eventually. There was only one way to end this. He had to face it. The next morning brought Pastor Jerome Williams. The sheriff had called him early, explained the situation. The pastor arrived before breakfast. Tall, black, 62 years old, wearing a collar and carrying a gentle authority that filled whatever room he walked into. Mr. Cole, he extended his hand. I'm Jerome Williams. Marcus tells me you've had an interesting night. That's one word for it. He also tells me you've got a child who refuses to let you go, and a CPS supervisor who wants to take her away. That's about right. Then let's see what we can do about that. Pastor Williams spent an hour with Maya, not interrogating her, just talking, asking about Isaiah, about her mama, about what she wanted for her future. Maya talked more than Granite had ever heard her talk before. About the good times with her mother, about the bad times with Darnell, about the 3 days in the bayou and the moment when she thought Isaiah was going to die in her arms. When she finished, Pastor Williams was quiet for a long moment. Maya, do you know what a miracle is? Something good that shouldn't happen, but does anyway. Close enough. I think you're a miracle. I think what you did for your brother was nothing short of miraculous. I just did what I had to do. That's what miracles are, sweetheart. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things because there's no other choice. He looked at Granite. And I think the man who stopped for you might be a miracle too. Maya grabbed Granite's hand. He is. He's my miracle, and I'm not letting anyone take him away. Nobody's taking anyone away. Pastor Williams smiled. I've got some ideas about how to keep you all together, if you're willing to listen. The plan was complicated but possible. Pastor Williams' church had emergency custody provisions for children in crisis. With the right paperwork and the right arguments, they could delay the CPS placement long enough to find a better solution. But it would take time, and time was something Granite didn't have. Midnight was coming. He found a moment alone with the pastor. There's something I need to tell you. I'm listening. Granite told him everything. The club, Viper, the phone call, the threat. Pastor Williams listened without interrupting. You're planning to go. I don't have a choice. If I don't show up, they'll come for the children. And if you do show up, they might kill you. Maybe. But at least the kids will be safe. Will they? If you're dead, who protects them then? Granite didn't have an answer. I spent 3 years on the streets. Pastor Williams' voice was quiet. Addicted to crack cocaine. Lost my wife, my children, my church. Everyone wrote me off. Said I was beyond saving. What changed? Someone stopped for me. Like you stopped for those kids. A man I'd never met found me dying in an alley and carried me to a hospital. Stayed with me through detox. Helped me find my way back. He looked at Granite. That man is the reason I wear this collar today. The reason I believe in redemption. The reason I know that people can change. I'm not sure I've changed. You stopped for 2 children who needed help. You fought for them. You refused to leave them. That sounds like change to me. I'm still the same man who spent 22 years doing terrible things. And yet, here you are ready to die to protect 2 kids you just met. Pastor Williams put a hand on Granite's shoulder. You're not going to that meeting alone. I have to. They said, I know what they said, and I'm telling you, you're not going alone. You can't come with me. It's too dangerous. I've seen dangerous. I've lived dangerous. 3 years on the streets taught me what real danger looks like. His eyes were steady. You've got people now, Granite. Whether you want them or not, you're not alone anymore. The day passed in a blur. Maya sensed something was wrong. She kept watching Granite, her eyes following him whenever he moved. You're scared. She said it in the afternoon while they were sitting with Isaiah. What makes you say that? Your face. It looks like my face did when I was walking through the bayou. Like you're trying to be brave, but you're really scared inside. Granite looked at her. You're too smart for your own good. Mama said the same thing. She grabbed his hand. What's wrong? Tell me. He should have lied, should have said nothing was wrong, but he'd promised not to lie to her. Some people from my past want to talk to me. Tonight. It might be dangerous. Maya's face went pale. What kind of people? Bad people. People I used to know. The bikers. Yeah. They want to hurt you. Maybe. I don't know. Maya's grip tightened. Don't go. I have to. Why? Because if I don't, they might hurt you and Isaiah. Maya's eyes filled with tears. So you're going to let them hurt you instead? I'm going to try to make sure nobody gets hurt, but if it comes down to you or me, no. Maya's voice was fierce. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to sacrifice yourself for us. That's not how this works. Maya. You promised you wouldn't leave. You swore on your mama. If you go and you don't come back, you're breaking your promise. I know. Then don't go. I have to, baby girl. It's the only way to keep you safe. Maya threw her arms around him. Then come back. You have to come back. Promise me. Granite held her tight. I'll try. That's not good enough. It's all I can give you. Maya pulled back. Her face was wet with tears, but her eyes were hard. If you don't come back, I'll never forgive you. Never. I don't care if you're dead. I'll find a way to be mad at you forever. Despite everything, Granite almost smiled. I believe you would. I will. So you better come back. I'll do my best. Midnight came too fast. Granite drove down Highway 90 with Pastor Williams in the passenger seat. The sheriff had wanted to come too, but Granite had refused. Too many people would spook Viper, would make things worse. You're sure about this? No, but I'm going anyway. That's either very brave or very stupid. Probably both. The barn appeared in the headlights. 3 motorcycles outside. Viper had brought backup. Stay in the car. Granite? If things go bad, drive. Get back to the hospital. Protect the kids. And leave you, if that's what it takes. Pastor Williams grabbed his arm. God go with you. I'm not sure he and I are on speaking terms. He's always listening, even when we're not talking. Granite got out of the car. The barn was dark. He walked toward it, hands visible, heart pounding. The door creaked open. Viper stood in the center, flanked by 2 younger bikers. Men Granite didn't recognize. Recruits from after his time. You came. Viper sounded surprised. You threatened children. Of course I came. Threatening's just business. You know that. I know what it used to be. Things are different now. Different how? Granite stepped forward. Different because I'm not the man I was 12 years ago. I'm not going to burn. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to play your games. Then what are you going to do? I'm going to tell you the truth. And then I'm going to walk out of here. And you're going to let me. Viper laughed. That's bold. Why would I do that? Because killing me doesn't solve your problem. It creates new ones. Granite's voice was calm, steady. I'm all over the news. Everyone in that town knows my face. The sheriff's been watching me for 2 days. There's a pastor waiting in the car who knows exactly where I am and who I'm meeting. He stepped closer. You kill me, you've got a murder investigation in a small town where everyone's paying attention. FBI involvement. National news. The kind of spotlight that burns clubs like ours to the ground. Viper's eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. Am I? Try me. The younger bikers exchanged glances. Granite saw doubt flicker across their faces. And there's something else. He pulled an envelope from his jacket. Insurance. Names, dates, locations. Every run I witnessed in 22 years. Everything I know about club operations in Louisiana. He held it up. This gets opened if I don't make a phone call by 6 a.m. FBI field office in New Orleans. They've been wanting to take you down for a decade. Viper's face changed. The cocky smile disappeared. You'd rat on your brothers. They stopped being my brothers the night they ordered me to burn a house full of children. One of the younger bikers stepped forward. Let him go, Viper. Remy, stay out of this. No, I'm done. Remy's voice was hard. My sister died last year. Overdose. Left behind a baby girl. CPS took her before I even knew she existed. I think about that kid every day, wondering if she's okay. He looked at Granite. You found kids dying in the bayou and you helped them. That's not betrayal. That's being human. Something we forgot how to be. He walked toward the door. I'm out. The other biker followed. Viper stood alone, his face twisted with rage. You think this changes anything? I think it changes everything. Granite stepped closer. Let me go, Viper. Let me walk away. And this time let it stick. No more threats. No more games. I disappear. You disappear, and we pretend we never knew each other. And if I don't, then that envelope opens, and we both burn. Silence stretched between them. Viper stared at Granite. Granite stared back, and finally something shifted in Viper's eyes. Go. The word was bitter, defeated. Go back to your charity case. Play daddy to those kids. Pretend you're something you're not. I'm not pretending anymore. Granite walked toward the door. Stone. He stopped, didn't turn around. If I ever see your face again, you won't. Granite walked out into the night. Pastor Williams was waiting, engine running, ready. It's over. Granite's voice was shaking. It's really over. Thank God. Yeah, maybe. They drove back to the hospital in silence. Maya was awake when he walked in, sitting up, watching the door. The moment she saw him, her whole body sagged with relief. You came back. I promised I would. She launched herself into his arms. I was so scared. I thought you were going to die. I thought I was going to lose you too. I'm here. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Maya held on like she'd never let go. I love you. The words came out small, scared, but real. Granite felt his heart crack open. I love you too, baby girl. You and Isaiah both. Does this mean we're family now, for real? Yeah, for real. Even though we're not blood. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. Choosing does. Staying does. He pulled back to look at her. And I choose you, both of you, forever. Maya smiled through her tears. Forever's a long time. Not long enough. She buried her face in his chest, and somewhere in the darkness of the hospital room, with a baby sleeping peacefully, and a little girl holding on like her life depended on it. Granite Cole finally stopped running. The weeks that followed were the hardest of Granite's life, not because of danger, not because of violence, but because of something far more terrifying. Paperwork. You need to understand what you're asking for. Patricia Thornton sat across from him in her office, a stack of files between them. I understand perfectly. I want to adopt them. You want to adopt 2 children you've known for less than a month. 2 black children. As a single white man with a criminal record that includes assault weapons charges and gang affiliation. Former gang affiliation. The courts won't see it that way. Then help me make them see it. Thornton leaned back in her chair. Why should I? Because you've spent time with Maya. You've seen how she looks at me. You've heard what she says. Granite's voice was steady. And because somewhere under all that policy and procedure, you know this is right. What I know doesn't matter. What matters is what I can prove. Then tell me what I need to prove. Thornton studied him for a long moment. You need to prove stability, steady employment, a safe living environment. You need to complete parenting classes, pass background checks, submit to home inspections. You need character references from people who aren't pastors or sheriffs. I can do all that. It takes time, months, maybe a year. I'm not going anywhere. And in the meantime, the children need placement. I can't leave them in hospital limbo forever. Put them with me. Temporary foster placement until the adoption goes through. Thornton laughed. It wasn't cruel, just exhausted. You're not a licensed foster parent. Then license me. That takes... I know what it takes. I'll do it. Whatever classes, whatever training, whatever hoops you need me to jump through. I'll do all of it. He leaned forward. Those kids chose me. Maya looked at me on the side of the road and asked me not to leave. Isaiah held my finger through an incubator and wouldn't let go. They chose me. His voice cracked. I'm not going to let them down. Thornton was quiet for a long moment. There's another option. A family that's already approved. The Hendersons. Tom and Sarah. They've been fostering for 15 years. They specifically requested a sibling placement. No. You haven't even heard. I said no, I'm not handing them off to strangers. The Hendersons aren't strangers. They're good people, kind people. They could give those children a stable home while you get your situation sorted out. My situation is sorted. I'm staying with them. Mr. Cole, what would you do? The question stopped Thornton cold. If you were me, if two kids grabbed onto you and refused to let go, if a 7-year-old girl told you she'd rather run than be separated from you, what would you do? Thornton's face shifted. Something human crept through the professional mask. I'd fight. Then let me fight. Help me fight. The silence stretched. I'll make some calls, Thornton finally said. No promises. But I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. Harder than walking away from the only family I knew. Different kind of hard, the kind that doesn't end. Granite stood. I'm ready. The first challenge was housing. Granite had been living in his car for 12 years. Hotels when he could afford them. Rest stops when he couldn't. He didn't have a home. Didn't have an address. Didn't have anything that looked like stability. Pastor Williams solved that problem. There's a house, small but clean. Belongs to the church. Been empty for 6 months since the last tenant moved. I can't afford rent. You can work it off. The church needs maintenance, repairs, groundskeeping. You work for us, we provide the house. That's charity. That's community. There's a difference. Granite hesitated. I don't know how to accept help. Then learn, because those kids are going to need you to accept a lot of help over the next few years. The house was small, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that barely fit 2 people standing. But it had walls, and a roof, and a door that locked. It was more home than Granite had known in over a decade. The second challenge was employment. Jolene offered him a job at the diner, cooking, cleaning, whatever needed doing. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest work. You sure about this? Granite stood in the kitchen apron tied around his waist, feeling ridiculous. I'm sure. You saved my cousin's kids. This is the least I can do. I didn't know they were your... They weren't. Not by blood. But Maya's mama grew up 3 houses down from me. We played together as kids. Lost touch when she got mixed up with the wrong people. Jolene's eyes glistened. I should have done more. Should have reached out. Maybe if I had... You couldn't have known. Neither could you. But you still stopped. She handed him a spatula. Now make yourself useful. Breakfast rush starts in 20 minutes. The third challenge was the hardest. Maya didn't want to talk about her mother. We need to discuss the funeral, Granite said one evening. They'd found Amanda's body 2 weeks earlier in a motel room 50 miles from where Maya had started walking. She deserves a proper goodbye. No. Maya's voice was flat. Baby girl? I said no. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I want to pretend it didn't happen. You can't pretend forever. Watch me. She stormed out of the room. Granite heard her bedroom door slam. He started to follow, but Pastor Williams stopped him. Give her time. She's been carrying this for weeks. She needs to let it out. She will. When she's ready. You can't force grief. What if she's never ready? Then you wait. That's what parents do. The word hit Granite like a punch. Parent. He'd never thought of himself that way. Never imagined he could be. I don't know how to do this. Nobody does. You learn as you go. What if I mess up? You will. Every parent does. The question isn't whether you'll make mistakes. It's whether you'll keep trying after you do. The breakthrough came 3 weeks later. Granite woke to the sound of crying. Not Isaiah, the baby was sleeping through the night now, healthy and strong. This was Maya. He found her curled up on the floor of her bedroom, clutching a photograph. Her whole body shook with sobs. Maya, I found it. Her voice was barely audible. Found what? Mama's picture. It was in my bag. I forgot I had it." She held up the photo. A woman, young, beautiful, smiling, holding a baby in her arms. Maya stood beside her, gap-toothed grin, eyes full of innocent joy. That was Isaiah's first day home from the hospital. Mama was so happy. She said it was going to be different. She said she was going to get better. She said... Maya's voice broke. She said we were going to be a family. Granite sat down beside her. You were a family. You still are. But she's gone. She's gone, and she's never coming back, and I never got to say goodbye. Then say it now. Maya looked at him. What? Say goodbye, right now. Tell her everything you wanted to tell her. She can't hear me. Maybe she can. Maybe she's listening. You won't know unless you try. Maya stared at the photograph for a long moment. Then slowly she started to talk. Hi, Mama. It's me. It's Maya. Her voice trembled. I'm sorry I hit you. When you wouldn't wake up, I was scared, and I didn't know what to do, and I'm sorry. Tears streamed down her face. I kept Isaiah safe, just like you asked. I carried him all the way until someone helped us. A man named Granite. He's not what you'd expect, but he's good. He's really good. She wiped her nose. I miss you. I miss your pancakes and your singing and the way you smelled like vanilla when you hugged me. I miss everything. Her voice cracked. But I'm okay. Isaiah's okay. We found a family. A different kind, but still a family. And I think you'd like him, Mama. I think you'd be glad I found him. She pressed the photograph to her chest. I love you. I'll always love you. And I'll make sure Isaiah knows about you. I'll tell him stories. I'll show him pictures. I'll make sure he remembers. She looked up at Granite. Is that okay? Is that a good goodbye? Granite pulled her into his arms. That was perfect, baby girl. That was perfect. They sat on the floor together, holding each other, crying together. And for the first time since her mother died, Maya let herself grieve. The funeral was small. Pastor Williams officiated. Jolene came. Sheriff Washington. The Hendersons who'd been helping with Isaiah's medical appointments. A handful of people from town who'd heard the story and wanted to pay respects. Maya insisted on speaking. My mama wasn't perfect. Her voice carried clear across the small gathering. She made mistakes. She got sick. She got lost. But she loved us. She loved us so much, she ran away from everything she knew to keep us safe. She looked at the casket. That's the only thing I want people to remember. She loved us. She placed a single flower on the wood. Goodbye, Mama. Thank you for giving me to Granite. Thank you for trusting him to take care of us. After the service, Maya found Granite standing alone by the grave. Are you okay? I should be asking you that. I asked first. Granite looked at her. I was thinking about my mother. She died when I was 19. I never said goodbye either. Never got the chance. What happened to her? Cancer. By the time they found it, it was too late. She was gone in 3 months. Maya took his hand. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. Does it still hurt? Sometimes. Less now than it used to. Will it stop hurting eventually? For me. Granite thought about it. It won't stop. But it'll change. The sharp pain will become something softer. Something you can carry without it breaking you. Maya nodded slowly. Granite? Yeah. Thank you. For making me talk to her. For not letting me pretend. You needed to say goodbye. I know. I just couldn't do it alone. You don't have to do anything alone anymore. Maya squeezed his hand. I know. The months passed. Granite completed his parenting classes, passed every background check, submitted to home inspections that felt like invasions, answered the same questions 100 different ways. Why do you want these children? Because they're mine. They're not yours legally. Legal doesn't make family. Love does. The social workers wrote their reports. The supervisors reviewed their files. The system ground forward at its own pace, indifferent to the people caught in its gears. Maya started school. Her first day was terrifying for both of them. What if nobody likes me? Then they're idiots. What if the teachers are mean? Then I'll talk to them. What if... Maya! Granite crouched down to her level. You walked through the bayou for 3 days carrying your baby brother. You fought off a grown man who tried to kidnap you. You survived things that would break most adults. He cupped her face in his hands. You can handle 3rd grade. Maya almost smiled. Promise you'll be here when I get out. I'll be waiting at the gate. Every day. Every single day. She was quiet for a moment. I love you, Daddy. The word hit Granite like lightning. Daddy. She'd never called him that before. Never even hinted at it. What did you call me? Maya's eyes widened, suddenly uncertain. Is that okay? I know you're not my real daddy, but you feel like my daddy and I thought maybe... Granite pulled her into a hug so tight she squeaked. It's okay. It's more than okay. So I can call you that. You can call me that forever. Maya hugged him back. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, baby girl. More than you'll ever know. Isaiah said his first word a month later. Maya was feeding him in the high chair, making airplane noises with the spoon, when he looked at Granite and said it. Da da, Maya shrieked. He said it. He said Daddy. Isaiah grinned and said it again. Da 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 da. Granite stared at him, speechless. He's never said that before. He was supposed to say Mama first, but he said Daddy. She grabbed Granite's arm. He chose you, just like I did. He knows you're his daddy. Granite picked Isaiah up from the high chair. The baby patted his face with chubby hands still babbling. Da-da, da-da. Yeah, buddy. Granite's voice was thick. I'm your da-da. The court date came 6 months after the hospital. Granite wore a borrowed suit. Maya wore a dress Jolene had bought her. Isaiah wore tiny suspenders that made everyone smile. Judge Angela Morrison presided. We're here today to consider the petition for adoption filed by Gray Granite Cole for the minor children, Maya Denise Johnson and Isaiah Marcus Johnson. She looked at Granite. Mr. Cole, do you understand what you're asking this court to grant? Yes, Your Honor. You're asking to become the legal father of these children, to be responsible for their care, their education, their well-being for the rest of their lives. I understand. Tell me why. Granite had prepared a statement, practiced it 100 times, but when he opened his mouth, different words came out. 6 months ago, I was nobody, a ghost driving highways that led nowhere, running from a past I couldn't change. I'd given up on being anything good, given up on deserving anything good. He paused. Then I heard a child crying. He looked at Maya. That girl had walked through the bayou for 3 days carrying her baby brother after watching her mother die. She was 7 years old and braver than I'd ever been in my entire life. His voice shook. She asked me not to leave, and nobody had ever asked me that before. My whole life, people were happy to see me go, but she looked at me with those eyes and begged me to stay. He took a breath. She saved me, Your Honor. I know that's supposed to work the other way around, but she saved me, and I want to spend every day of the rest of my life being worthy of that. Maya stood up without being asked. Can I say something? The judge nodded. My mama used to say angels don't always have wings. Sometimes they have tattoos and scary faces, but they're still angels. Her voice carried clear. Granite is my angel. He stopped when nobody else would. He stayed when everyone else left. He promised he wouldn't go, and he didn't. She looked at the judge. I don't need him to be perfect. I just need him to be there, and he always is. The courtroom was silent. Judge Morrison was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was softer than before. The court has reviewed the extensive documentation in this case. Mr. Cole's criminal history, his background with the Hells Angels, his rehabilitation efforts, his community references. She paused. The court has also reviewed the testimony of social workers, mental health professionals, and the community members who have supported this family during the transition period. Every single report speaks to one thing. She looked at Granite. Transformation. Granite held his breath. Mr. Cole, you came into this process as a man with every strike against him. Criminal record, gang history, no permanent address, no family connections. She paused. You're leaving it as a father. Maya's gasp was audible. The petition for adoption is granted. Maya Denise Johnson and Isaiah Marcus Johnson are hereby declared the legal children of Gray Granite Cole, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. The gavel came down. Maya screamed with joy and threw herself into Granite's arms. Isaiah, startled by the noise, began to cry. And Granite found himself laughing and crying at the same time, holding his children, while the courtroom erupted in applause. We did it! Maya was sobbing into his chest. We're a family. A real family. Granite held her tighter. We always were, baby girl. Now it's just official. Pastor Williams embraced them both. Jolene was crying. Sheriff Washington stood in the back, nodding slowly, something like respect in his eyes. Even Patricia Thornton smiled. Congratulations, Mr. Cole. Thank you for everything. I told you it would be the hardest thing you ever did. You were right. Was it worth it? Granite looked at Maya, at Isaiah, at the family he never thought he'd have. Every second. That night they went home, their home, with their names on the mailbox, with Maya's drawings on the refrigerator, with Isaiah's toys scattered across the floor. Granite stood in the doorway of the children's room, watching them sleep. Maya had insisted on Isaiah's crib being in her room. So I can protect him, she'd said. Old habits died hard. Pastor Williams' words echoed in his mind. You're not alone anymore. He wasn't. For the first time in his life, he wasn't alone. Maya stirred in her sleep. Daddy. I'm here, baby girl. Are you watching us sleep? Maybe. That's creepy. I know. She smiled without opening her eyes. I love you. I love you too. Forever. Forever. Maya's breathing evened out. She was asleep again. Granite stood there for a long time, watching his children dream, feeling something he'd thought was dead forever growing in his chest. Hope. And for the first time in 12 years, he didn't want to run. He was finally home. 1 year changed everything. Granite stood at the stove, flipping pancakes that looked more like abstract art than food. Maya sat at the table, giggling at his failures. Isaiah banged his spoon against his high chair, demanding attention. They're supposed to be shaped like motorcycles. Maya pointed at the misshapen lumps. Those look like roadkill. They're abstract motorcycles. They're burnt, abstract motorcycles. Same thing. Isaiah threw his spoon on the floor. Da 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 da. I see you, buddy. Hold on. Granite scooped up the spoon, wiped it clean, handed it back. Isaiah immediately threw it again. He thinks this is a game. It is a game. He's winning. Maya grabbed the spoon before Isaiah could throw it a third time. I got it. You focus on not burning breakfast. I'm not burning. Smoke rose from the pan. Okay, I'm burning breakfast. Maya laughed. That sound, free and light and unguarded, still hit Granite somewhere deep every time he heard it. A year ago, she couldn't laugh. A year ago, she couldn't trust. A year ago, she was carrying her dying brother through the bayou, begging strangers not to leave. Now she was teasing him about pancakes. Can we go see Miss Jolene today? You just want her pancakes. Her pancakes don't look like crime scenes. Traitor. Maya grinned. I'm just being honest. You told me to always be honest. Granite scraped the burnt pancakes into the trash. Fine. Jolene's it is. The diner was crowded when they arrived. Granite had gotten used to the stares, the tattoos, the scars, the two black children calling him daddy. Some people still looked at them sideways. Most didn't anymore. "Well, look who it is." Jolene came around the counter, arms open. "My favorite family. We're your only family that comes in this early. Doesn't make you less favorite." She scooped Isaiah from Granite's arms. "Look at you, big boy, getting so heavy. Dada. That's right, that's your dada. Isn't he handsome?" He burned breakfast again. Maya slid into their usual booth. "Snitch. Survivor. There's a difference." Jolene laughed. "The usual. Please. And extra bacon. Growing girl needs her protein." She headed to the kitchen. Granite sat across from Maya, watching her color on the paper placemat. She was drawing a house, a family, 2 kids, 1 adult, all holding hands. "That's us." "Yeah, for school. We have to draw our families." "You going to show it to the class?" "Maybe, if I don't chicken out." "You chicken out. The girl who bit a grown man and fought off kidnappers." Maya's crayon paused. "That's different. That was life or death. This is people looking at me. What are you afraid they'll see?" Maya was quiet for a moment. "That we're not normal. That you're not my real dad. That people will ask questions and I won't know what to say." Granite reached across the table and took her hand. "You know what you say." "What?" "The truth. He's my dad because he chose to be. He stopped for me when nobody else would. That's what makes him real." Maya's eyes glistened. "What if they don't understand?" "Then they don't understand. Their problem, not yours." "You make it sound easy." "It's not easy, but it's simple. There's a difference." Maya thought about that. "You say that a lot. There's a difference." "Because there usually is." She went back to coloring. Added a sun in the corner, a tree by the house, a car in the driveway, a black Dodge Charger, because some details mattered. Sheriff Washington walked in. He spotted Granite immediately, hard to miss, and made his way over. "Mind if I sit?" "Free country." The sheriff slid into the booth next to Maya. "How's school, young lady?" "Fine. Just fine. Better than fine. I got an A on my reading test." "That's more than fine. That's excellent." He looked at Granite. "Can we talk outside?" "Sounds serious." "It is." Granite felt his stomach tighten. "Maya, stay here. Eat your breakfast when it comes." "Is something wrong?" "I don't know yet. I'll be right back." Outside, the morning air was thick with humidity. Granite faced the sheriff, arms crossed. "What's this about?" "We found him." "Found who?" "Darnell Marcus Webb, Maya's mother's boyfriend, the one who was trafficking kids." Granite's blood ran cold. "Where, Baton Rouge. He's been running a ring out of there for 3 years. We finally had enough to make an arrest." "Is he in custody?" "As of 6 this morning." Relief flooded through Granite's body. "So, it's over." "Almost. They want Maya to testify. She's the only witness who can connect him directly to attempted kidnapping." "Absolutely not." "Granite. She's 8 years old. She's been through enough. I'm not putting her in a courtroom with the man who terrorized her family. Without her testimony, he might walk, or get a reduced sentence. Is that what you want?" "What I want is for my daughter to be safe." "She'll never be completely safe if he's free." Granite clenched his jaw. "Does she have a choice?" "Everyone has a choice. But the prosecutor thinks her testimony could put him away for 20 years, maybe more. And if she says no, then we do our best without her, but it won't be the same." Granite looked through the window. Maya was eating pancakes, laughing at something Jolene said, completely unaware that her past was knocking on the door. "I need to talk to her." "Take your time. The trial's not for 3 months." "And if she says no, then we respect that. Nobody's going to force her." Granite nodded slowly. Thank you for telling me yourself. You're family now. That's what family does. The sheriff walked away. Granite stood there for a long moment trying to figure out how to have the hardest conversation of his life. He told her that night, after dinner, after bath time, after Isaiah was asleep, just the two of them sitting on her bed. I need to tell you something. Maya looked at him with those old soul eyes. You have your serious face on. This is serious. Is someone dying? No, nobody's dying. Then what? Granite took a breath. They found Darnell. Maya's whole body went rigid. What? The police. They arrested him this morning. He's in jail. For real. Like forever jail. That depends. On what? On whether you want to help put him there. Maya's face went pale. Me. They want you to testify. Tell the court what he did to your mama. What he tried to do to you and Isaiah. In front of people. Yes. In front of him. Granite hesitated. Yes. Maya started shaking. I can't see him again. I can't. Maya, listen to me. He took her hands. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. This is your choice. If you say no, we say no. Nobody's going to force you. But if I don't, he might get out. Maybe. I don't know. But that's not your responsibility. But he'll hurt other kids, like he was going to hurt Isaiah. Her voice cracked. I can't let him hurt other kids. That's not your job either. You're 8 years old. You've already done more than anyone should ask. Maya was crying now. Granite pulled her into his arms. I'm scared, Daddy. I know, baby girl. I don't want to see him. I know. But I don't want him to hurt anyone else. I know that too. She pulled back, wiping her eyes. What would you do if you were me? Granite thought about it. Really thought. I'd be terrified. I'd want to run away and pretend none of it ever happened. But then I'd remember that the only reason I'm alive is because someone was brave enough to ask for help. He cupped her face. You asked me for help on that highway, and I stopped. Now other kids need help too. They need someone brave enough to stand up and tell the truth. What if I'm not brave enough? You carried your brother through the bayou for 3 days. You fought off a grown man. You survived things that would break most adults. His voice was fierce. You are the bravest person I have ever known. Maya's lip trembled. Will you be there? In the courtroom? Right behind you, the whole time. Promise. I promise. On your mama. On my mama. Maya took a shaky breath. Okay, I'll do it. You're sure? No, but I'll do it anyway. She managed a weak smile. That's what brave is, right? Being scared, but doing it anyway. Granite's heart cracked open. That's exactly what it is. The trial came 3 months later. Maya wore a blue dress that Jolene had bought her. Her hair was braided with ribbons that matched. She looked tiny and fragile and impossibly young, but her eyes were steel. You ready? Granite knelt beside her in the hallway outside the courtroom. No. That's okay. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be there. What if I forget what to say? Tell the truth. That's all. Just tell them what happened. What if he looks at me? Then you look right back. And you remember that you survived him. That you beat him. That you're here and you're strong and he can't hurt you anymore. Maya's hands were shaking. I'm scared, Daddy. So am I. You're not scared of anything. I'm scared of losing you. I'm scared of letting you down. I'm scared every single day that I'm not good enough to be your father. Maya's eyes widened. You never told me that. I'm telling you now. We're all scared, baby girl. The brave ones just don't let it stop them. A bailiff appeared. Maya Johnson, They're ready for you." Maya looked at the door, then at Granite, then at the door again. "I can do this." "I know you can." "I'm brave." "The bravest." She took his hand, squeezed hard. "I love you, Daddy." "I love you too, baby girl. Now go show them what you're made of." Maya walked into the courtroom. Granite followed and took his seat in the front row. Pastor Williams sat beside him. Jolene was there, Sheriff Washington, even Patricia Thornton, who'd fought so hard against them at first and now wouldn't miss this for the world. Maya took the witness stand. She looked so small up there, so young. The prosecutor approached her gently. "Maya, can you tell the court your full name?" "Maya Denise Cole." Granite's breath caught. She'd used his name. His name. "Maya, do you know the man sitting at that table? The one in the orange jumpsuit?" Maya's eyes moved to Darnell. Her face went pale, but she didn't look away. "Yes." "Who is he?" "He was my mama's boyfriend. His name is Darnell Webb." "Can you tell the court what Darnell did to your family?" Maya's voice shook, but she kept going. "He hit my mama. All the time. He said he owned her. He said if she ever tried to leave, he'd find her and kill her." "Did he ever threaten you or your brother?" "He said he'd take Isaiah. He said there were people who paid money for babies, especially black ones that nobody was looking for." Gasps from the gallery. "Did he ever try to take Isaiah?" "No. Mama ran before he could. We disappeared. But—" Maya's voice broke. "But she got sick, and she couldn't run anymore, and she died. And I had to walk for 3 days to find help." "What happened during those 3 days?" "A man at a gas station tried to take Isaiah. He had the same look Darnell had. The same hunger. He said the same things. Nobody would miss us. We were worth money." "What did you do?" Maya lifted her chin. "I bit him. I cut his face with my fingernails. And I ran." The prosecutor nodded. "One final question, Maya. Why are you here today? Why did you agree to testify?" Maya looked at Darnell. Her eyes were hard. "Because he can't hurt anyone else. Not my mama, not me, not Isaiah, not any other kids who don't have someone to protect them." She looked at Granite. "I have someone now. I'm safe. But other kids aren't. And if telling the truth can keep them safe, then that's what I'm going to do." The courtroom was silent. The judge cleared her throat. "Thank you, Maya. You may step down." Maya walked back to Granite. Her whole body was shaking, but her head was high. "I did it." "You did it." He pulled her into his arms. "I'm so proud of you, baby girl. So proud." "Did I help? Did I do enough?" "You did everything. You did more than enough." The verdict came 2 days later. Guilty on all counts: trafficking, assault, attempted kidnapping. 35 years without parole. Maya cried when she heard. It's over. It's over. He can't come back. Not for a very, very long time. She hugged Granite so tight he could barely breathe. "Thank you." "For what?" "For making me brave enough to do that. You were always brave enough. You just needed someone to remind you." 1 year to the day. Granite drove them out to Highway 90, to the exact spot where everything began. "Why are we here?" Maya looked out the window, confused. "I wanted you to see it." "See what?" "Where I found you." Maya's breath caught. "This is the place. Right here. You were standing right there, holding Isaiah, crying for help." Maya got out of the car slowly. Isaiah was asleep in his car seat, but Granite lifted him out anyway. Carried him in one arm, held Maya's hand with the other. They stood at the edge of the road. "It looks different." Maya's voice was quiet. "How so?" "I remember it being scary. Dangerous. Like the whole world was trying to kill us." She looked at Granite. "Now it's just a road." "That's because you're different now. You're not running anymore." Maya walked to the exact spot where she'd stood that day, where she'd begged a stranger not to leave, where her whole life had changed. Can we say something like a prayer or a memory? Whatever you want. Maya closed her eyes. 1 year ago, I was the most scared I've ever been. I thought nobody would help us. I thought we were going to die out here. She opened her eyes and looked at Granite. Then you stopped. You got out of your car. And you changed everything. Her voice strengthened. You gave us a home, a family, a future. I don't know why you stopped that day. I don't know what made you different from all the other people who drove by. She took his hand. But I'm glad you did. I'm so glad you did. Granite knelt down to her level. You want to know why I stopped? Maya nodded. I spent 12 years running from who I was, hating myself for what I'd done, believing I didn't deserve anything good. He paused. Then I heard you crying, and something inside me, something I thought was dead, woke up. It said, stop. Just this once. Be the person you wish you were instead of the person you've been. He touched her face. You saved me, Maya. You and Isaiah. I thought I was rescuing you. But you rescued me. Maya threw her arms around his neck. We saved each other. Yeah, baby girl, we did. Isaiah woke up, looked around, saw his family, and grinned. Da-da, mama. He'd started calling Maya that recently. She was the only mother he'd ever really known. Hey, little man? Maya took him from Granite's arms. We're having a moment here. Momo. Close enough. They stood together at the side of the road, the three of them. A family built from broken pieces, held together by choice and love, and stubborn refusal to give up. Daddy. Yeah. Can we go home now? Granite smiled. Yeah, baby girl, let's go home. They drove back in comfortable silence. Isaiah fell asleep again. Maya watched the bayou pass by her window. Daddy. Yeah. Do you think Mama's watching? From wherever she is? Granite thought about it. I think she sees you every day. I think she's proud of how strong you've become. And I think she's grateful that someone finally stopped. Maya smiled. I think so too. That night, Granite stood in the doorway of the children's room watching them sleep. Maya had her arm around Isaiah's crib, protective even in dreams. Pastor Williams's voice echoed in his mind. You're not alone anymore. He wasn't. For the first time in 53 years he had a family. A real family. Not built from blood or obligation, but from choice. From love. From a moment on a highway when he could have kept driving but didn't. Maya stirred. Daddy, you watching us sleep again? Maybe. Still creepy. I know. She smiled without opening her eyes. I love you. I love you too, baby girl. Forever. Forever and after. That's not how the saying goes. It is now. Maya's breathing evened out. She was asleep. Granite stayed in the doorway for a long time. Watching. Protecting. Being exactly where he was supposed to be. A year ago, he was a ghost. A shadow of a man with nothing to live for and no one to love. Then a child cried out in the darkness. Please don't leave me behind. And the Hell's Angel got out of his car. That single choice, that one moment of stopping instead of running, had created ripples that transformed everything. A broken man found purpose. 2 orphaned children found safety. A community came together. Love conquered fear. Granite thought about all the people who'd driven past Maya that day. All the cars that saw a struggling child and kept going. He understood them in a way. It was easier not to stop. Safer. Less complicated. But easy never built a family. Safe never healed a broken heart. And complicated was just another word for worth it. He looked at his children one more time. Maya, fierce and brave and unbreakable. Isaiah, joyful and innocent and full of possibility. His children, his family, his reason for everything. "Thank you," he whispered to no one. Or maybe to someone. He wasn't sure anymore. "Thank you for making me stop." He closed the door softly and walked to his own room. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new fears, new moments of doubt. But tonight, he was home. He was loved. He was exactly where he belonged. And for a man who'd spent 52 years convinced he deserved nothing good, that was more than enough. That was everything. Granite Cole had finally stopped running, and he was never going to run again. The end.